You're the one who is, through life experience, setting the bar for yourself. You're the one who's creating the vortex version. And so it's only the distance between what you've become and what you're allowing yourself to be that equals your life experience. When you understand that you have a point of attraction that you practice. So if you believe that you're not being honored, if you're not being cared for, if you believe that you're being taken advantage of, then law of attraction is going to bring you someone who is looking for someone to take advantage of. You are the perfect person that matches up with that, you see. And so whenever anything happens to you, no matter what manifests, at its basis, at the basis of the reality that you are living, is a vibration that has a feeling. So if you will stop and ask yourself, let's say that someone treats you badly and steals from you, what would be the emotion that you would use to describe that? Betrayal, meaning victim, meaning not acknowledged, meaning not revered, meaning not blessed, meaning not worthy, meaning unworthy. And so if you've got that sort of vibration going on, in other words, once it happens, you can stop and say, well, wait a minute. It didn't just happen to me. It happened to me for a reason. It happened to me for a vibrational reason. It didn't happen to me for a vibrational reason of something that happened 20 years ago or 10 years ago or yesterday. It happened to me for a reason that's still active in my vibration today. And if you will look, you will see plenty of evidence of that. If you will listen to the things you say are giving evidence to that all day, every day. When you begin to allow yourself some alignment that can come through 15 minutes of meditation, some alignment that comes from offering words of appreciation, of sort of ramping that up deliberately. When you pull into a place of business and you know that parking is at a premium and someone pulls out just as you pull in, note your worthiness. Note your worthiness in the sense that just filled in with something you wanted because you weren't doing something to block that. The inspiration of where you went, when you went, the way you turned. Now, many of you think, well, that's just so much of a coincidence or something that is so unimportant. But we say, practice those things. Notice those things. When you take the time to identify something wanted and you realize that you're not holding a steady vibration about it, you know you're sort of all over the place, and then you deliberately start thinking more about what you want and feeling better about it. You start practicing it and you notice the difference in the way you feel. And then something happens. Something will happen. Something will be realized by you that is different than it usually has been. And if you have deliberately been shifting your vibration to feeling a little better and feeling a little better, when that manifestation happens, your sense of worthiness is going to go off the charts. You're going to, for a moment, know that you have accomplished your relationship with you. You see, you're never being deprived. There is no one ever withholding good stuff from you. You're the only one who is withholding it. So you are the only one who can render yourself unworthy. You are the only one who can render yourself unlucky. We know it feels to you like others are doing things to you because action is coming at you. It fills in with stuff you don't want. It feels like other people are doing it to you, and I wouldn't do this to me because I wouldn't want that to come to me. You know that the momentum will slow. And then you can begin again. And so that really is what changing the direction of your thought is about. It's about slowing the momentum that isn't serving you and then beginning the momentum that does serve you. That's why getting into those general statements helps you the most. We would welcome every negative emotion that we feel, because without negative emotion, you would not know positive emotion. Without knowing what you don't want, you could not know what you do want. And it is all part of the process. So when you are standing right in the middle of your life experience and you are aware of what you are perceiving, and if you are aware that what you're perceiving isn't pleasing you very much, if you could just take away just one law-based, so important thought, it's my perception of this that is hurting me, not what it actually is. Now, we know that feels like a stretch. But if you could start by saying, it's my perception of this that is hurting me. Because you see, you can control your perception. You can't control what you think it is. But you can control your perception. You can go more general, or you could think about it less often, or you could think about other things. You have the ability to alter your perception about everything. I didn't think I was supposed to be altering my perception, but it is not your job to get rid of the unwanted. It is your job to tune it out of your frequency. When you turn your radio on and you want to hear a particular broadcast, you don't condemn the other stations that are broadcasting. You just tune your tuner. You could spend all day, every day. Well, I don't want that, and I certainly don't want that, and I certainly don't want that. Just tune the dial to what you do want. It will be there loud and clear. And the more often you tune that dial, then the more easy it will be. You'll have preset buttons for that all the time. In other words, it will just be easier and easier and easier. The universe is delivering to you. We started to say the universe will bring you what you want. Then we wanted to add to that by saying the universe not only is bringing you what you want, but a better way of saying it is the universe is bringing you what you are broadcasting. And now we want to say even more clearly, the universe is bringing you what you've practiced thinking about. So if you make a decision that you're going to feel differently, it will be easier for you to practice vibrations that will serve you better. There's so much we want to say to you. So you are sifting through the variety and you're coming to personal preferences about what you want. And those preferences are being known, acknowledged, and tended to by the larger part of you. And now you have a relationship between you and you, a relationship that you can feel emotionally. If you had not expanded to a new place, you could not feel the discord of not going there. So every bit of negative emotion that you feel is a lovely indicator of your new expansion. Don't you like knowing that? If you hadn't become this, then this wouldn't feel uncomfortable. And having become this is everything. That's why you came forward, for eternal, joyful expansion. If there's one thing that we would really like you to understand, it's that where you are is perfect, 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 perfect from our point of view. You haven't done something wrong. There is not something that you need to change. Where you stand is in this perfect relationship between a more expanded version of you maybe than you are allowing, but it's perfect where you are because now you get to do something about closing that gap. And that is what life is. If you're worried about what you haven't yet achieved, you got to give that up because there's always going to be way more than you haven't achieved than that you have achieved because you are eternal beings and you're not ever going to get it done. So you must make peace with the never-endedness of the journey. There is always going to be a new perspective by you of the contrast that you're living that will launch you into a more expanded version. And the fact that you have not yet achieved the realization, the full manifestation of that expansion is not a bad thing. It's an eternal thing. So make peace with what has not yet manifested. You'll feel better. And there is nothing in all of the world that is more delicious than the actual visceral feeling of you closing a vibrational gap. It's what you live for. It's what we all live for, you see. You are the extension of that which Source is. And you're stirring it up for the new journey, you see. And the Source within you is reveling in that journey. It is only you that is languishing in your misunderstanding. It is only you that is claiming your unworthiness. It is only you that is choosing to feel inappropriate for not having already accomplished that journey and that one and that one. But when you make peace with this never-ending journey, then you'll start reveling in this negative emotion. Yes, this is guidance too. I love this feeling of discord because if there is a feeling of discord, that means there is a feeling of accord. And while I don't feel like it right now because I'm pretty mad at that guy, I do recognize that I can find that forgiveness that will put love back in my heart because the alternative is a life of misery. We don't want you to do it for them. We want you to do it for you. What is it that is at the heart of that discord? And it is, for the most part, a human decision to feel unworthy, and you're using as your reason the fact that you haven't yet achieved that. And we're here to tell you there's always going to be another that, and another that, and another that, and another that. So it's time for you to make peace with where you stand. And when you do, where you stand is going to look way better than it did right before you did, when you make peace with it. And then the energy will start moving and you'll start having fun on that never-ending journey.